Welcome back to Struggle Security, where we're normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. And welcome to 2026. This is a very different job market for cybersecurity. As you noticed, I haven't really made too many videos since January of last year. And now, when I'm looking at the job market for cybersecurity, it has changed significantly. And really the reason why I'm making this video is to understand some of the changes that I've seen from discussing things with colleagues, from being a hiring manager / director, and really giving you some gems that'll help you be progressive within the cybersecurity job market. So let's jump into it. Welcome to Struggle Security, where we're normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. Let's talk about it. There is different thought processes or different thought groups as it concerns getting into cybersecurity. I think there's a traditional one, and then there's one that applies to the current job market. Most people might think, hey, coming into cybersecurity, I want to, one, get hired. I want to get certifications. I want to get some level of experience, and I want to get paid. I think that those things are valuable, but I think that things need to change a bit now, especially in the context of artificial intelligence and how a lot of those roles and a lot of the work that entry-level individuals do, or even mid to senior level folk do, that a lot of that can be automated. A lot of that can be put into the hands of an AI agent and exacted within an organization. So I think that their strategy for getting into cybersecurity needs to incorporate some of the older things, but also some of the newer things, right? How AI is not necessarily replacing individuals, but it is enhancing what individuals can do within cyber roles. I want you to think about these two classes of thought. I think, as I mentioned before, the traditional method is getting into cybersecurity, getting a job, getting the certifications, and then getting paid. But let's break that down a little bit more. A lot of times when people talk about what you need to know as an entry-level individual or somebody jumping into different cybersecurity jobs is that you know the tools, that you have the certifications, you meet the job description. As an example, for a security analyst, you might need to know different SIM technologies, right? You might need to know McAfee, you might need to know Tanium, you might need to know Windows, right? Or whatever SIM type of tools, Windows Defender or whatever SIM tools that they offer. I think the thing about it is that I don't think that you only need to know what the tools are. I don't think you only need to have the certifications, but you also need to understand how to incorporate artificial intelligence, whether large language models or whether the artificial intelligence tool sets that are offered within cybersecurity tools in order to enhance your overall capability. You need to be an enhanced cybersecurity professional. And when I say enhance, I mean enhance with artificial intelligence. Let me give you a couple of job tasks that would help you in order to be more successful in the role. As I was talking before, I was talking about a security analyst. One thing that a lot of folk do within a SOC or security operations center, especially level 1 or level 2 analysts, is that they are getting queues in some type of queuing or some type of ticketing type of system. And then when these tickets come in, the security professionals are addressing them one by one. So some things that might come in are phishing emails. So how do you evaluate a phishing email, not just manually with your eyes? Because I think a lot of times we might look at that with our eyes, but I think that artificial intelligence tools can assist more with that. Many organizations have internal tools or internal AI that would assist in some of these things, like scanning, right? Scanning the email, comparing that with other sources or CVEs or common vulnerabilities and enumerations that are currently out there. Understanding what detection rules have come up in order for this to line up within a queue. Also looking at some of the logs. You don't have to manually evaluate logs anymore, right? You might look at some SIM logs or firewall logs or anything that comes from any tools or applications. But I think the thing about it is that you can feed it into a secure internal large language model to be able to do a bunch of that work more easily. And I think that that can assist you, right? You a security operations center analyst, not doing a lot of manual tasks, you'll be able to get through your queues or get through your tickets much faster. And I think that that's there where you need to in some way display your ability to utilize artificial intelligence to do your cybersecurity job better. So that's really where it starts off, right? Starting off, you have the traditional thought process, but you also have the cybersecurity enhanced by AI thought process. I think that you need to go with the latter, right? That will very much so help you differentiate yourself within the market, where organizations don't need to do a lot of training for you, but rather you can jump in and hit the ground running. Now, when we talk about the cybersecurity value proposition that you offer, let's speak about that a little bit as it concerns a value proposition, right? You don't want to just look for a job, but what you want to do is say, what is my value to this organization in addressing their cybersecurity needs? You see that those two are a little bit different. You're not just applying for a job, right? You're not just saying that I'm going to do the work, but you're saying, because I'm here, I'm offering value to the organization in addressing their cybersecurity needs. And I think that really should be the context of anything that you put out there, whether on LinkedIn or whether in job interviews. You need to create a value proposition for why that organization will want to hire you. So one, right, is that the old way is that I'm a SOC analyst. I understand the tools. I know how to use this. I know how to evaluate and assess different malware strands. I have different capabilities, right? That's one thing. I'm a SOC analyst. But I think that your value proposition to that organization should be a little different. I think the idea there could be, hey, I'm a SOC analyst who knows how to reduce incident response time and be able to communicate to higher level leadership or upper level leadership about the risk of different cybersecurity or security vulnerabilities to our organization. See, those two things are a little bit different there, or not a little bit, a lot of bit different. The first one is that I know how to do a job. I know how to use some tools. The second one is that I know how to offer value to your organization in order to address your cybersecurity needs. So, that's just a quick example of how you need to better, frame why you need to come into an organization or why an organization would hire you. It goes from tasks into impact, right? You don't just look at doing things within the organization, doing a job task, but rather what impact and what positive outcomes in the area of cybersecurity can I offer? That's our second idea there, is going from, hey, I can do a job into this is my value proposition to your organization, why you would want to hire me. So I introduced that you need to create a value proposition, but how do you build that, right? And I think that three distinct questions are extremely important in you answering that. One, what problem do I repeatedly help organizations solve in the area of cybersecurity? Do I help to reduce downtime? Do I help with translating technical and in-depth compliance information and de-obfuscate that or make it less confusing? Do I help with poor detection rules, right? You might have SIM detection rules. Is my engineering or cyber engineering detection? Can I help in increasing the effectiveness of any security tooling within your organization? Or can I even help to expedite training? Can I train individuals, right? These are all things that you can help to do repeatedly to help solve cybersecurity problems within an organization. The second question is, who benefits from my work? Am I helping engineers? Am I helping senior leadership like executives understand the cybersecurity risks? Am I customer facing? Right? In many organizations, they can be managed service providers that you might work for. So are you the individual that is customer facing, communicate those cyber issues to that organization? Or are you dealing with regulators or helping your organization translate where your company is from a cybersecurity regulatory position, right? These things are very important. And the third question is, how is the organization better because I'm there? Answer that question. Are you helping better, faster decision-making? Are you helping to lower risk? Are you helping to create fewer cybersecurity surprises? I don't know how many times I've been working with individuals who are just kind of happy to be there on the job without really understanding, hey, is this organization better that I'm here? Or if this organization hires somebody else, they could just sit in the seat and do the exact same thing that I've been doing. So I think that those things are very important to answer the question of how to build your own cybersecurity value proposition. 3 questions. What problems do I repeatedly help organizations solve? What benefits from my work, or who benefits from my work? And number 3, is the organization better because I'm there in that seat rather than just collecting a paycheck? These are things that I think are very important for you to think about. And really overall, just keep applying so that you're in front of the decision makers and the hiring managers and the recruiters so that you can express what your value proposition is, right? So one, build that value proposition, express it, but also in this age of AI, it's very difficult at times in order to show or to get in front of recruiters. So go to events, go to hiring job or hiring fairs or job fairs. find any way in order to get in front of organizations and hiring managers and decision makers so that you can express what your cybersecurity value proposition is. Thank you again for coming back to Struggle Security, where we're normalizing struggling in cybersecurity, and hopefully your cybersecurity value proposition can be developed, can be increased, and that you're not just a number, you're not just somebody answering queues within some type of queuing system, but you are actually, that organization is actually better because you are there. Okay? Talk to you again, and again, Struggle Security, normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. Come back again.